and producer, my good friend, Eduardo Verástegui, who stars in the new blockbuster movie Sound of Freedom, which tells the story of former DHS special agent Tim Ballard, played by Jim Caviezel, who embarks on a mission to rescue children from sex traffickers in Colombia. In the movie, Eduardo plays the character Pablo, a wealthy citizen who assists and helps fund the mission to rescue the children. Here is a clip from the trailer. Take a look.
So you quit your job and you go and rescue those kids.
South of that river is all rebel territory. No one goes in. What if this was your daughter? So, she's gone. Hear that? That's the sound of freedom.
Now the movie is captivating audiences across the globe and has grossed over $85 million, crushing estimates and bringing awareness to the sex trafficking crisis. And Eduardo says this success is nothing short of a miracle, and also says all the success is part of his mission to protect children, and is just another chapter of what he considers his American dream. The story is inspiring, gut-wrenching, and reminds us all that one of our most important duties is protecting the most vulnerable and saving precious children from evil and abuse. But the film's success has also brought criticism from some on the left-wing media who are trying to discredit the success and smear the movie. But like we always say, it's when you're over the target that the calls to silence you grow the loudest. And the film was shown at Bedminster this week in what was truly an amazing event. Take a look.
Thank you all very much. That was incredible. Jim, that was unbelievable. What a job. So, El Presidente, it's a possibility. I mean, you made this the hottest movie anywhere in the world, so I think maybe becoming the president of Mexico by comparison, right? So I just wanted to thank you all. That was unbelievable acting, and Tim, what a job you did. I wouldn't want to do it. Somebody's got to do it, and you did, and you did, and you really did. Great combination, beautiful combination.
Joining me now, actor and producer of Sound of Freedom, anti-human trafficking advocate, an extraordinary man and great friend, Eduardo. Thank you so much for being with us on the program.
Kimberly, thank you so much. It's an honor for me to be here with you.
No, God bless you and the work that you're doing. So first, I want to ask you, where your story starts with this film. I understand it's been years in the making. Talk about how it all came together.
I met Tim Ballard 8 years ago in Los Angeles, California. And when when you meet a hero, a true hero, in one hand, you are inspired. In the other hand, I was in shock. I was depressed when they told me in details what they do. Tim Ballard, with his friends, ex-Navy SEALs, ex-FBI agents, and ex-CIA agents, they travel around the world rescuing children that are kidnapped for sexual exploitation. When they told me in details what these children are going through, I couldn't look the other way around. I was in shock. I couldn't sleep. But then he told me, Eduardo, it's very sad what I'm telling you. I know. But it's more sad now that you know it. If you do nothing, what are you going to do? And right there, that's when I knew that something, a new mission, a new vision was about to give birth. I knew that I had to put pause in everything that I was doing so I can focus 100% in this project. But then I started asking him questions like, for example, Tim, this is a global problem, right? Yes, this is a global problem, especially U.S. U.S. is the #1 consumer of child sex in the world. and Mexico is the number one provider. Hold on a second. A ver. If United States is the most powerful country in the world, you guys have the technology, the army, the intelligence, the money, everything. Why we don't finish this problem? Right. And he said, because it's not a priority, Eduardo, and I'm not the solution. I can be the solution for one child. And of course, if you save one child, you save the world. Thank God we are the solution for like thousands, 2,000, 3,000. We are in the thousands, but we're talking about millions of children. This is beyond us. This is too big. So how do we solve this then? How do we solve this problem then? And then he said, we need a movement. And you guys, you're filmmakers. You and Alejandro Monteverde, you are filmmakers, and you have a weapon of mass instruction and inspiration. Movies can move people. Let's make a movie. And that's when I realized that, you know what? I look to see Alejandro Monteverde, my business partner. We are from Mexico. Both of us, we are from Tamaulipas, northern Mexico, below Texas. And right there, we made a promise to God that we will dedicate our entire life to end child trafficking. And of course, we are going to make a movie. And we asked him, okay, well, what's the hardest rescue mission you ever done in your life, Tim? And he said, the first one, Cartagena, Colombia. Well, tell us the story. And he told us the story. And we were like, this is the movie. What happened when the kids were rescued? And Tim Butter told me, well, these kids were crying. It was tears in their eyes. They were singing. They were like celebrating their freedom. It was like this beautiful sound of freedom. That's the title, and that's the story. And we started working with this project 8 years ago.
Incredible. God sees everything, and he has a plan. I'm so glad that he put the two of you together for this incredible mission. And I know you are a man of faith, a man with deep respect for God. I know you've been with the Pope. You and I know each other since 2007, we said, when we met, when you were
2007. I remember, Kimberly. Yeah. I remember, because when I made a promise to God many years ago, in 2000, it was 2003, 2002, 2003, that I will never use my talents again to do anything that will offend my faith, my family, or my Latino culture, right? After I made that promise, I ended up not working for 4 years, and I lost everything. But I found everything that really matters in life, true freedom, which is not to do whatever you want, but to do the right thing. So I was tired as an actor I was tired of waiting for a role that will portray a man as a real man. So a friend of mine told me, why don't you just open a production company so you can have the power to control the message? I didn't speak English very well at that time. And when I moved to Miami and then to Los Angeles, I knew how to count. I knew, what is the bathroom, phrases like this, I'm hungry, things like that. But I didn't speak English. And then Alejandro Monteverde, he's from Tamaulipas as well. Him and we started this production company so we can have the power to control the message. I'm the producer, the actor, he is the director and the writer. And along with Leo Severino, he's the lawyer, he's from Colombia. So the three of us, we started this dream of making movies that hopefully will not only entertain, but make a difference in people's lives. And the first fruit of this mission is this little film, a pro-life film that has changed the lives of so many people, including our own lives, called Bella. So Bella won the Toronto Film Festival. And my first interview in English here in United States was with Fox, with Bill O'Reilly. And I was so nervous because I remember my coach was telling me, okay, he's going to ask you these 5 questions, 4 or 5 questions. These are the answers. You repeat the answers over and over for 2 days, right? And I was in the makeup room, whatever, and I was just repeating the answers. And next thing you know, I just hear, tranquilo, cálmate, tranquilo. Everything's gonna be okay. And then it was Kimberly next to me, and she was telling me everything's gonna be okay. I'm very nervous. I remember, I'm telling you, I told you, I remember, estoy muy nervioso, I'm very nervous. Relax, tranquilo, cálmate, everything is going to be all right. And you gave me so much calm, and you helped me so much, because after that, I went to do the interview, and I was very confident. You gave me confidence that day. So thank you so much for that.
So sweet. You were so good. And it was so nice to meet you. And I could feel like, your energy, and I wanted you to believe in yourself, and I wanted you to be calm, to be able to go in there, because, that was like the biggest show in the country at the time. And everyone, going to be watching. But I also did, try to talk to you and let you know that you were going to be okay. You did a phenomenal job, but I did say a Hail Mary and an Our Father for you as well, to give you a little bit of a divine blessing and a comfort and guidance and protection going in there. And you really did a great job. And I remember I was so happy. I was in the room because I was going on the show, I think, after you, but then I waited and I was just, so you came off to say you did such a great job. We've been, friends, ever since. And I couldn't be more proud or honored to call you my friend, and for the incredible work, that you have done. And I'll tell you something, people I know about you. You have been so inspirational, and not just in this country, but in Mexico, and with your faith guiding you and the devotion that you have, for your country, that you say the rosary every day for Mexico and for its people. It's so inspirational. And there's such a massive groundswell of support in Mexico and the United States, because this relationship is so important, that I'm just hoping and praying that, you will someday, decide to run for president, because I can not even tell you the difference it would make for our two countries and what we could be able to do. Because when you talk about it, that, number one, for drugs, producing and coming into the United States, for the child sex trafficking, you understand all the issues. And I know President Trump absolutely, as you know, the times that you've spent with him, really respects you. You've been to the White House multiple times, and is somebody that I know that he really admires. And I know, God willing, with the help of God, if we could have both of you in, imagine what we could do for this world and for children as well, and also to help stop the scourge of, drug trafficking, child and sex trafficking over the border. I think it's the most important thing that we could, work on together. But I just want to say that, on a personal note, because I just, I pray for this a lot to happen. So I hope God answers all of our prayers.
Well, thank you, Kimberly. I'm thinking about it. I'm praying about it. At the end of the day, I only want to do God's will. And I ask the people of Mexico, pray for me. Let's right now I'm fasting, I'm praying, because I want to hear the voice of God. And if he asks me to do that, and if he's a calling, I just want to be obedient. In the meantime, we're saving lives right now with this movie, Sound of Freedom. And let me tell you something, when the good people of Mexico and the good people of United States meet, Sound of Freedom happens. Because you have to understand, two Mexican filmmakers, Alejandro Monteverde and myself, when they meet two American heroes, Tim Ballard and Jim Caviezel, and we work together, we shake hands, we help each other, a movement, a beautiful movement, it's happening right now. It's called Sound of Freedom. But when the bad people of Mexico and the bad people of the United States, when they meet, child trafficking happens.
Terrible.
So what do we need to do? Well, we need to bring the good people of Mexico and the good people of America to work together. Let's make America and Mexico free again. Let's make America and Mexico great again. And let's make America and Mexico free again, because there's more slavery today than when slavery was legal. And most of them are children. Kids, every 30 seconds, a child disappears in the world. This is crazy. We are fighting a industry that produces more than $150 billion a year. That's why they're attacking us. I never imagined, when I was working in this film, after we finished raising the funds to produce this film, it was really hard. It was a lot of obstacles. People were saying, Eduardo, this is too dangerous for me. This is too dangerous. And I remember when Tim Ballard told me, Eduardo, before Alejandro commit, I need to tell you something. We have a lot of friends, but we have a lot of enemies too. And those enemies will be yours. Are you sure you wanna die for this? And I closed my eyes and I said, what if this is my son? What if this is my daughter? What would I do? I will stop everything that I'm doing, and I will hope that the entire world will stop everything they're doing so they can help me to find my son. Well, that's my motivation. Don't wait until this tragedy happens to you for you to wake up. No, God reveals this information to me through Tim Ballard for a reason. Not for me to look the other way around, but to
Right.
do something about it, right? And I said, Tim, I welcome your enemies, brother,
Oh,
your
I
enemies
love
are mine
that.
too. Let's work together. You know what? One day we're gonna die anyway. It's just a matter of time and how and when. And I always pray to God, whenever you call me, I just want you to find me working for you, and I'm working for Him. God's children are not for sale. We adults have the responsibility to protect children. They're the future decision makers. What kind of a decision? What kind of decisions they're going to make if we don't protect them now. And if we wouldn't do something now, the pain of these children sooner or later will hurt you and me, and we will be living a nightmare that is going to be very hard to wake up if we don't do something now. The good news and the hope is we're doing something. It's called Sound of Freedom. This movie, imagine, after the movie was finished, everybody passed. This movie used to be owned by Fox, but then Disney bought Fox. And when Disney bought Fox, when they saw the film, it's very sad because Disney started many years ago to entertain children. It's the biggest company in the world. Now the agenda changed. Now they want to corrupt your children. They said this film is not for us. So finally, after 1 year negotiating with them, I got the movie, the rights back to us, and then we started knocking doors. Netflix, Amazon, everybody, they passed. They said this film is not for us. This is not a good business. We're talking about saving children. What are you talking about, right? They passed, and finally, I was doing this tour in Mexico, showing this film to every governor in every state of Mexico with so many leaders, and I was showing the movie. And at the end, we were signing these agreements where we commit to end child trafficking in each state, right? And with one hand, with the other hand, I was knocking doors like, who else is interested in this film? Please, we need to put this film out there in theaters. Nothing. And then I was just praying, please send an angel to rescue this film. And Angel Studios appeared. A little company, the smallest company maybe at that time of United States, in Provo, in Utah. And I'm thinking like, wow, these guys, I don't know if they have experience. And I have to be honest, I had a lot of doubts. Because I was hoping like a big studio for this film so we can reach millions of people. And next thing you know, God is telling me, Angel Studios, the little ones. You're the little one. This movement is the people's movement. So trust Angel Studios. And you know what? 5 days later, we signed the contract and they told me July 4th. So July 4th, this is tomorrow. This happened just 4 months ago when I signed the contract. July 4th is tomorrow. And are you guys crazy? We're talking about competing with Indiana Jones, Mission Impossible, the biggest company in the world, Disney, they're going to kill us. I say, Eduardo, July 4th, it's Independence Day in America. I know. So it's freedom, right? So we need to shake the conscience of America and telling them, yes, with one hand, celebrate freedom. With the other one, let's do something so we can bring freedom back to the children. God's children are not for sale. I was convinced, let's do July 4th. And then the miracle happened. All glory to God. Many prayers. Wednesday, Tuesday, July 4th, we became the #1 movie in America. Can you believe that? This is just unbelievable miracle.
Unbelievable. And by the way, in my fabulous place in Puerto Rico, you guys #1, 2, beat out Mission Impossible, all of the above. So it's incredible, and that is against, all odds. You're able to persevere. That's what makes me feel, that good will win the battle over evil and the devil.
And the people are showing up. We had a really big goal. Like we were thinking about 2 million people for 2 million children that will be trafficked this year, right? That goal was like maybe in 2 months, maybe. We need a miracle, right? For 2 million people showing up in theaters. You have to understand, we had all the small little theaters. Indiana Jones, they had 2,000 more theaters than us, and the big ones. And of course, the budget that they manage for P&A, marketing and publicity, 10,000 bigger than us. I remember one day I was driving on Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles, and I saw this big billboard like Indiana Jones. I was like, oh my gosh, the budget of that billboard is the budget of the film. And they had like thousands of those. There's no way you can compete with these people, right? And you know who our posters are? The people who went to see the film, and when they leave the theater, they videotape themselves, and they share their heart, and they share that message with everyone. This movement is amazing. More than 5 million people show up in 2 weeks to see this film. No one can stop this. No one can stop this. This is too big. This is growing and growing and growing. We received 2 days ago, last week actually, emails from every country around the world asking for the film, asking for distributors, asking, because they know that they have this problem in their country. So this movement, Sound of Freedom, is growing so big that no one can stop it. They can take me, they can take Tim Ballard, they can take Gene Caviezel. They cannot take millions of people. This is the people's movie and not the establishment mafia Hollywood movie.
No, you're absolutely right. And all those in Hollywood just disgusting, passing on it, etc. Like, how can you even not like remotely have some morality and ethics to say, let's do the right thing here? And by the way, the movie is phenomenal. It's really well made. It's just exceptional in every way. It is heart-wrenching. I mean, you're making the whole world cry, okay? You better like drink a lot of water before you go see this movie, folks, because you'll be dehydrated after. But, everywhere I go, there's men, women, that have gone to see it, and everyone is mobilizing like angels spread out like bright lights, across the country, where they're posting and putting on social media and putting moms on their Facebook pages, putting information out there that everyone must see this film. And that's what you're saying. It really is the people's movie in terms of this grassroots movement to make sure that the word gets out there, that people see it and that they're informed. I know some of the police officers here and the sexually violent predators unit, it was assigned to them. Their captain said, everyone stop what you're doing today. We're all going to go see this film. Unbelievable.
I mean, this is, God is amazing. I'm living the American dream and the Mexican dream at the same time. This is amazing, amazing. We're not just neighbors, we're brothers and sisters. And that's why, again, when the good people of Mexico and the good people of America, shake hands, great things happen. I mean, I met this unbelievable hero, Tim Ballard. Okay. And now he's my brother. I mean, he's like my mentor and brother. He's like literally like every day, like I'm calling him like, brother, we need to end this. We need to end this. Eduardo, God is in control. And of course, I want to end this like with the magic one. I wish I can end this like today, because I can't sleep again the way how I used to sleep years ago. I hear these kids screaming. We're talking about, in Mexico, 57 children disappear every day, 21,000 a year. I think it's a lot more, but that's the official numbers, right? But it's a lot more. And these kids are like 3 years old, 4 or 5 years old, raped 10 to 15 times a day. And then after, when they don't want them anymore because there's no fresh meat anymore, that's the vocabulary that they use. And they open them and sell their organs. This is the most evil atrocity that is happening in the world. And some people, some people, they don't even know that this is like, they don't know that this exists, right? So the first step to eradicate child trafficking is awareness. That's why this movie is so important, because it's opening the eyes of the people. And my hope is that when the people leave the theater, hopefully they will leave entertained, but at the same time, they will leave touch and move, asking themselves this question, the same question that I asked myself when I met Tim Ballard. What can I do? What can I do to finish this? If they ask that question, can you imagine the movement of millions of people doing something about it? Yes. I mean, that gives me hope. That gives me hope.
So many people are asking, that question, and I have so many text messages, but I wanted to be able to bring it up on this show. Where can people go for information? And also, so many people that I know want to make a donation and give money to help stop this evil and this violence against children. Do you have a website or an organization that you'd like to promote?
The number one thing that is creating this movement is that the theaters are packed. So the media now wants to talk about the movie. Why? Because the movie is doing amazing. Thanks be to God and thanks to the people. So the more people see this movie, that's the only reason actually we were invited to Capitol Hills to show the show the movie on the 25th, because of the success of the film. So can you imagine the most important decision makers in Washington, senators, legislators, they're going to see this movie? The Speaker of the House invited everyone to see the movie. And then imagine if you touch the heart of Washington, you touch the heart of the decision makers. You're not only touching America, you're touching the world right there. Mm-hmm. So, and then you're going to be forcing them to have this conversation, a conversation that is not comfortable, a conversation that they don't want to have. But because of the success of the film, now they're forced to have this conversation, and then they need to bring solutions. And then we go back to what Tim Ballard told me. How come we don't finish this problem? Because it's not a priority. Well, guess what? This movement is putting so much pressure that now it has to be a priority. It has to be a priority. And if it becomes a priority for them and becomes a priority for me, for Tim, for you, for the millions of people that are going to see this, guess what's going to happen? We are going to end this once and for all. And this is amazing. That gives me so much hope. So visit angel.com/freedom. angel.com/freedom. You can buy tickets for you, for your family, or you can buy tickets for other families who cannot afford to buy tickets to go and see the theater, to go and see the movie in the theater. And because of your generosity, they're going to see the film for free. You have to understand that watching movies is very powerful because you are in this big screen, no distractions, no cell phones, no nothing. And you're just getting this message that is designed to touch your heart, your mind, your intellect. And then you live inspired. And right there, a regular person, a good person, came to see a movie. After 2 hours, a new hero is living. A new hero is living. Why? Because this is what I heard all the time. I want to become like Tim Ballard. Why? Because I saw the movie. See the magic. This is so powerful, so powerful. And we need warriors. We need more soldiers. We need more brave hearts like Mel Gibson, like Jim Caviezel, like Tony Robbins, like people from, and this is very important because sometimes they're trying to block the message of the film. If you notice, they don't criticize the film. I'm okay if someone wants to destroy the film, like a critic, like, I don't like the movie because it's too long, too short, whatever, the acting, I don't believe Jim Caviezel, like handwriting is whatever. Okay, I'm fine with that. But they're not doing that. They're trying to like put lies out there, blocking the message because the pedophile industry won't stop.
No.
Not happy with us. So they're trying everything to attack us, to they're putting words in Tim Ballard that he never said. They're doing the same to me, the same to Jim Caviezel, to Mel Gibson, to all the people who were involved in this film. They're lying and lying and lying and lying. And you know what we do? We just keep promoting the movie. Go and see Sound of Freedom.
You're absolutely right.
Of Freedom.
Yeah, they can't stop the movement. You know, it's funny, you mentioned the press, and I know Rolling Stone did a piece claiming the movie gives a, quote, false perception of the sex trafficking crisis. What is your response to that?
Okay, you know what? First of all, they need to apologize.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly.
To all the children who are dying, to all the children that are being raped 10 to 15 times a day, they should apologize. They should apologize to the kids that in this story that we told, Sound of Freedom, those kids who were rescued, who were suffering so much that because of Tim Ballard's decision and because of his wife telling him, you quit your job and you go and rescue these children, he sacrificed his life, and everybody was in danger. The kids and the team who were there, right? They should apologize to them. And actually, Tim Ballard is here with me right now, and he wants to say hello really quick. And I want him to answer this too, because I witnessed this guy doing what you guys saw in the film every 2 weeks around the world. I witnessed. I've been invited many times to go with him. I see this guy's all over the world, sacrificing his life, risking his life every day. And I was talking to him the other day. He said, Eduardo, I have no fear. God removed fear from me. I have all the reasons not to do it. I have a great family. I have my children. I'm doing the right thing. I live in America. I pray. I feel like I'm a good guy. So he doesn't have to do that, right? He's given up all these good things to go to Colombia, Mexico, here, Ukraine, everywhere, to save children, to save that one child. And these guys are trying to block him from doing this, and maybe because they're involved in this crime. I don't know what other reasons. The other day I heard another journalist, or I don't know, I cannot call them journalists, saying lies after lies after lies after. I mean, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. Tim, what was the last one? Come on, say hello. I want you to
say hi, Tim.
Tell them about the microchips.
Hey, Kimberly, how are you?
Hi, sweetheart. How are you? God bless you. I'm so proud of you two. We just have look at the difference that two human beings can make in the world. And Tim, I have so much respect for you. You sacrificed and have fought so hard. You never gave up on the children. You put yourself, your family, at risk and danger for the right reasons. But I honestly believe that God has a white light protecting you guys. You are archangels out there fighting for the hearts and souls of children. And I hope this is just the very beginning of what has now become a huge awakening globally, so that we save these children, and this will stop. We will shut down this industry. I know you guys will never stop until that happens. So I just want to say that personally, and on behalf of the thousands of people that I talk to, that I've been so moved by what you've done, and by your life, and by your story, and about your passion and your commitment. It is, boy, thank God. I pray and say thank you to Jesus, to the Lord, that the two of you were born into your families, that you've been such a blessing, and so incredible what you've done, the way you have just touched the heart of humanity. It is a beautiful, wonderful thing to see.
You're so kind, Kimberly. Thank you so much. It's good to know that there's good people in the media that are supporting us. I am shocked. I mean, I've always known about the liars and the left and the woke, and I never thought they'd cross this line, though. I mean, they'd cross a line and truly tell the world, we don't give a damn about kids. We care about our agenda, and we don't care about kids. Kids can be raped. Kids can be destroyed. It doesn't matter. They'd rather that happen than we shine a light on all of it, what's going on. And the good news is the silent majority is waking up. I've always believed there's got to be a silent majority out there. They're just not loud yet. This is making them loud. And the lines have been drawn now, not just about human trafficking. It seems like it's everything now. It's like, who will stand up for traffickers and who will stand up for children? I mean, if you can answer that, you answer every other question at the same time. And so I feel like the lines have been drawn, and thank God they're being exposed. They're being exposed for who they are, and the good people are seeing it. So it's easier to deal with threats when you know exactly who they are and where they are.
And you know, Kimberly, this guy, he's been in Mexico, in my country. You know, he speaks perfect Spanish, and he's been doing so many underground operations, saving children in Mexico. This American hero coming to our country to save Mexican children. I mean, he's maybe the very few people that it's very hard for me to say no to whatever they ask. And he's one of them, because he leads by example. It's very easy to talk and talk and talk. I witnessed this guy in Mexico and around the world, but especially, you know, I love my country. Yes. And to see someone who loves his country coming to my country that I love to save Mexican children, we're together forever, you know.
Thanks, bro.
We're brothers.
It's true. That's what he always says. He always calls you his brother. It's amazing. You know, guys, a lot of times in life, you know, things kind of, when we look back and we reflect, they only make sense when you kind of look back and say, okay, I now understand how this all happened this way. Do you ever feel like that this was just, you know, really it was all on God's, you know, timing? I know that you poured years into this, and you have been so passionate about this cause. And it finally all came together in such a, you know, a wonderful way that has really mobilized so many people. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, it's funny because Eduardo talked earlier, I'm sure, about how this film has been through all the hands, including the powerful Hollywood, you know, companies. And every time it didn't work out, I felt a strange peace, like, good. Disney doesn't want it, good. You know, Amazon doesn't want it, good. I didn't say it out loud because everyone else was like, what? You know, yeah. But then Angel Studios came along, and you remember what happened, right? Yep. I started calling everybody. I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel different. And I had to call Alejandro and really convince him. He's like, what? Who's Angel Studios? I'm like, The Chosen, man. You were chosen.
I mean, and, look at the name.
And then the timing was perfect.
Yeah.
The timing was perfect. You know, if this movie had come out in 2020, it wouldn't have been able to be utilized to expose things like what the current administration is doing. You know, yes. It had to happen first to see who they are. And now the film comes in time to block it, to defeat it, to attack. Just the southern border alone, what's happening there with all these children being just severely abused. And so God's in charge of this. There's no question in my mind. And it came out when it was supposed to come out. And I'm just kind of in awe watching it and trying to figure out how I need to respond next. You know, it's so much.
And you know, the thing, I mean, what I was telling you before about the posters, we have budget, you know, we didn't have a budget for posters and everything. More important than posters and billboards and all these, like, you know, publicity material. I never thought that the real posters for Sound of Freedom were the millions of people who are watching the film, and right after they videotape themselves, they share their heart, how their heart feels, and then they share that video with thousands of people. That's more important than any, I mean, that's like the best billboard ever. You know, there are live billboards walking around the country telling people, go and see Sound of Freedom, go and see Sound of Freedom, go and see Sound of Freedom. And the movement is just growing and growing and growing. And it's just, you know, we're so thankful. I've been crying every day. Half of the interviews, I can't finish them because I get very emotional because I'm living, as I said, I moved to this country. I didn't speak English. I'm very grateful to this nation. This nation has been such an amazing blessing in my life. This country opened the door to my dreams and even my conversion. When I was living in Los Angeles, I was lost. I was 28 and I was like, I thought I had everything in one hand. In the other hand, I had nothing. I was very empty. Something was missing in my life. And I moved to America because I wanted to conquer the American dream, but the wrong American dream. You know, it was all about the selfishness of, you know, I want to be famous. I want to be, you know, successful, but with no meaning, with nothing, you know,
Nothing attached.
transcendental until I met this woman. I was 28. She was 33. She was my English teacher. And she started asking me questions like using the Socratic method. What is the purpose of your life, Eduardo?
Right.
You know, how are you using your talents? Who is God in your life? I mean, you're Catholic. Yeah, I grew up Catholic, but my faith was not the most important, you know, it was not the center of my life because I didn't know my faith very well, right? But little by little, she started asking me more questions and more questions and more questions. And after 6 months of, you know, are you part of the problem or part of the solution? What are you talking about? Well, Eduardo, there is more than 60 million Hispanics living in this country. And many people, they think that you guys are a threat to the democracy of this country because they believe that you guys are what we see in film and television, the negative stereotype of Latinos, where very few times you see a Latino having an opportunity of being a hero in a movie, but not like Spider-Man or Batman, but the everyday hero, you know, men of God, women, Latinas, sometimes reduce us sex symbols, objects, and you have sisters, right? Yeah, I have 3 sisters. I love them, and they're the heart of the family. They're full of wisdom. They're smart. They're beautiful. So, what kind of movies are you choosing, and what are you telling the world about who you are? And when I look back, I realized that I was part of the problem. Media influenced how people think, and I was involved in projects where instead of elevating the dignity of Latinos, I was doing the opposite. And right there, that's when I made the promise to God. I made a promise to God that I will never use my talents to do anything that will offend my faith, my family, or my Latino culture. But who changed my life? An American lady named Jasmine. She changed my life, and I'm very grateful to this country. I'm very grateful to Mexico because now I moved to Mexico in 2015. You know why? Because I learned so much in the United States about the American dream. And now I want to build with my people the Mexican dream. And I dream one day where no Mexicans anymore have to leave their country because of lack of opportunities or necessity. They can leave because if they want to, but not because they need to.
Yeah.
And I think we have that potential. I believe we have that potential that if we all work together, we can build the Mexican dream. And can you imagine the American dream and the Mexican dream together? What that can be? Well, here's an example.
I'm looking at it right there on the screen.
Here's an example right here.
Yes.
It's called Sound of Freedom.
Fantastic. So before we go, I want to ask you two fine gentlemen, two exceptional human beings, what's next?
Wow, you know what? What's next? Showing the movie to the world. Because right now, we don't want to get distracted. You know, it's like playing the Super Bowl, right? And you have 20 minutes more, and you're in the final. And right there, the players are not thinking about what happened in the next season. No, we need to win, right? We haven't won yet.
Right.
This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning.
Continue the
And the movie really begins when the film finishes. Because the audiences, now they have to write their own story.
Now they're mobilized.
When you see the film and when you leave, now you're writing your own story. So now what are you going to do, right? So this is just the beginning. What happened? Can you imagine? Like Mel Gibson just called me a few minutes ago before this interview. We need to put this movie in Australia. Okay, well, I'm going to Australia with you. And then phone calls from all Latin America. They want the movie on August 31st. It's coming in Mexico and all Latin America. We're getting calls from Europe. So it means for the next 4 or 5 months, It's going to be Sound of
Maybe
Freedom.
longer, man.
Maybe longer.
They should go.
Longer.
No, Schindler's
well,
List went for a year.
Actually,
for it.
I have the news, because not only is going to be in theaters, of course, but there is so much going on. Like Elon Musk, for example, he offered, after he saw the trailer, he offered, guys, when you finish, when you want, Twitter is right there. You want to release this worldwide? So we're going to do a second release later after we finish with all the windows. So this will never
incredible.
end. You know when it's going to end? When we end child trafficking. Until then,
Exactly.
we are fighting hard every
That
day.
is the answer.
We're not eating. We're not sleeping. I'm sure you see our faces like we're like we're like guys. You have to rest.
The light is still
right
shining through.
Kimberly, we're in a safe house. There's like a little safe house. We have a friend of ours, and I had to hide out and crash in it. I had no idea. The next morning, I knock on the door. Oh, you're coming to the safe house. That's why we're here. We didn't even plan to be together. We're trying to hide out and figure out what to do next. So
yeah. No, I mean, it's just been amazing. We're living a dream, and there's nothing more beautiful than to wake up in the morning every day and to use your talents, the talents that God gave you, to glorify Him and to serve others in this particular mission to save the children of the world. I mean, this is the most noble thing. I want to die doing that. When people are telling me it's too dangerous in Mexico, it's too dangerous in America, it's too dangerous in Colombia, it's too dangerous everywhere. Well, as I said before, you're going to die one day, you and I and everyone else, just a matter of time. Dying for a cause, it's all worth it. It's all worth it. Que viva la libertad.
Sure. Exactly. Oh my God. I love you guys both so much. And I pray for you and for your families. But I know that God is really working special magic through both of you, and He will continue, I'm sure, to guide and light the way for you to know what will be the next steps as well. Give us one last plug where people can, I love this, where you say they can actually contribute so other people can see the movie, for free, pay for them to be able to go it. So give the website.
Yes, I want to say one thing. Well,
yes.
Angel.com/freedom. Go and just buy tickets, and let's just send a message to Hollywood and to the whole world that the majority of the people are good people, and they're saying enough is enough. Not on my watch. Children are not for sale. Number two, as you mentioned before, I have to make a very, very, very soon. I have to make a decision. The biggest project of my life. I've been praying for this. I've been fasting and praying for this decision so God can reveal what I need to do, and it has to be a calling. Otherwise, then it's a distraction. Every movie we do, Bella, Little Boy, Sound of Freedom, we always pray, fast and discern. We ask God, send the sign to us if you want us to do this or not. And then boom, when He says yes, when God asks you to do something,
you cannot hesitate. You
cannot hesitate, right? So this project about people asking me to run for president of Mexico, it's the biggest project of my life. It's not about me. It's about the people and God. What God wants from me to do in relationship of this invitation that I receive every day for many months, right? I'm not a politician. I'm an outsider. I love my country. I love the United States. That's why I believe that together we're stronger. Together we can set the world on fire, right? Please pray for me so I answer to God and I do God's will, because I have to answer very, very soon.
Right.
And I'll run for vice president of Mexico.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What a tease. That's fantastic. Oh, that would make me so happy. I got to tell you, it'll be, anyway, I pray that God will help give you that direction. I know He will. And the Blessed Virgin Mary as well, that I know you and I are both very devoted to her, that she will give you that guidance and that protection and that light. And I pray to her every day as well to protect the children of the world. But God bless both of you, Eduardo and Tim. You're wonderful human beings. I'm proud to call you my friends, and thank you for what you do. It's really been incredible, and what an inspiring story. And it's really a call to action to all of us to spotlight this film and to stop and destroy this evil that we're experiencing.
Last thing. I believe in the power of prayer. And children right now, while we're doing this interview, many of them, millions, are suffering so much. And can we end this interview with the Hail Mary, asking Our Lady of Guadalupe to protect them and to go after the bad guys? En nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for our sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. Our Lady of Guadalupe, pray for us. En nombre del Padre, y del Hijo, y del Espíritu Santo. Amén.
Amén.
Que viva Estados Unidos,
Amén.
que viva
viva.
México, que viva,
Que viva.
los niños, que viva,
Que viva.
que viva la libertad, que viva.
Love it. Doesn't get better than this. I love you guys. God bless.
Thank you, Kimberly.
So be sure to like and subscribe to my channel so you never miss these major episodes. And it's all of you who make this show possible, along with our amazing sponsors like Goldco. Like the great folks over at Goldco, where they are making sure that they protect your retirement savings from inflation and dollar devaluation. Look, we see all the economic warning signs. We see banks collapsing. We see reckless spending. And I want you to be ready, because I'm ready. With Goldco, you can take action to secure and stabilize your portfolio. Roll over your 401k or IRA into precious metals and safeguard your savings tax and penalty free. From precious metals, IRAs to direct purchases of gold and silver, Goldco has helped thousands of Americans place over $2 billion in gold and silver. And when you open up a qualifying gold IRA today, get up to $10,000 in free silver. Go to kimsmetals.com to learn more. That's kimsmetals.com. And I also want to bring you a special message from Patriot Lifestyle, where you can save more and spend less on a whole host of different benefits, from non-insurance healthcare benefits to savings on travel, identity theft, legal services, and even pet care. Take a look. Kimberly Guilfoyle here. And you can go to patriotbenefits.net to learn more. These programs all come at an extraordinary value and will improve your life. In closing, you can judge the compassion and commitment to protecting human rights of any society based on how they protect the most vulnerable. And for too long, leaders have looked the other way as a sex trafficking crisis plagues much of the world, including right here in America. President Trump did perhaps the most of any modern president to combat this crisis, approving the largest Department of Justice grant package in history to combat human trafficking, including the first ever grants for safe housing for survivors. And remember, beyond the day-to-day political jousting, the stakes are much higher for victims across the globe. It's why combating trafficking and abuse ought to be a top priority for everyone in Washington. And as I've said before, decades down the road, our legacy won't just be defined by the corruption we uncovered, but what we actually did to stop it. And it's why we will continue to spotlight this important issue on this show, right here on Rumble, where we combat the false narrative and we always seek the truth. And before we go, I want to again stress the importance of putting your dollars into action and supporting companies who support you. So be sure to check out MyPillow, because the best pillow is getting even better with MyPillow 2.0. Equipped with a brand new temperature regulating technology, it will keep you comfortable throughout the night. And as Mike Lindell has been telling you all, the patented interlocking fill allows you to adjust MyPillow to your individual needs. So it's going to give the exact support you need from the bed to your head, and it's going to stay that way throughout the night. And you can buy one and get one free with promo code Kimberly at mypillow.com, along with big discounts on all your favorite MyPillow products. That's mypillow.com/Kimberly. Thank you all so much for joining us today for this important conversation. And be sure to like and subscribe to my channel at Kimberly Guilfoyle, turn on notifications, download the Rumble app, and tell all your friends so they know exactly where to find us. And please be sure to follow me across all platforms: Twitter, Truth Social, Facebook, and Instagram. Have a wonderful evening, and I look forward to talking.